Hi, we are here with,
James Jones.
and what does James Jones promote?
I promote the Royal Manticoran Navy, the official Honor Harrington David Weber fan club.
And who is David Weber?
David Weber is a science fiction author. He has been putting out books since the 80s. He has the Safehold series, the Honorverse series. He has written for the old Wild Cards series that Piers Anthony and others were part of. And basically it's good hard science fiction.
There's not much of that like there used to be.
Not really.
But then most of the writers from his generation are gone and passed.
Well, he's not that old, but some of his contemporaries that actually will write with him in compilations, David Drake, Tim Zahn, Chuck Gannon, Joel Presby, and others.
But you know, it's just one of those things that from when you said he started out in the 90s and the early 80s, most of those writers don't write like they used to anymore.
No, they don't. You look at some authors who have either found popularity and changed to go something like George R.R. Martin. You look at the original books that he did with Wild Cards, or others are totally different from the ones that he's doing now.
You mean his sellout books?
Exactly, the sellout books.
Because he's rolling in the dough, so why should he put the effort into it?
Exactly.
Just give the people what they want.
Another good example of that was the Sookie Stackhouse, which became the HBO True Blood. The first books were really good, but as there was more money in, they were just pandering to the expectations.
And that's usually what even comics do that. Like Marvel, its sales are slumping due to the pandering to the expectations that if people pay to see the Marvel movie, they're going to pay to see the comic books act the same way.
Right.
And the comic book characters aren't what they're paying to see the movies with.
Well, the nice thing about the David Weber Honorverse series, if you're a student of history, you'll find a lot of parallels, but then a lot of good authors will take things from the past.
Going back to George R. R. Martin does the same thing.
Yes, George R. R. Martin did the same thing, but even Tolkien and C.S. Lewis took those things back in the day, and they packaged them differently, but if you knew what you were looking for, you go, oh, I understand, I see what that is.
Like Rod Sterling with The Twilight Zone, a lot of his episodes, which if he told them realistically would not be aired.
Right.
Because Playhouse 66 had that problem.
Right. The Outer Limits, the old Outer Limits, the same
but
thing.
when he found out there was sci-fi, you could do whatever you want and still tell the story you want to tell without the censor saying, no, you can't do that.
Precisely.
So tell us a little bit about the Royal Navy here.
Well, in the books, a good way to describe the Honor Harrington series is if you are familiar with the old Horatio Hornblower, the C.S. Forester books, or the Aubrey Martin novels, which they made into the movie Master and Commander with Russell Crowe, take that Napoleonic era style of combat with the Royal Navy, the French Navy, take that 2,000 years in the future, and you get those same political dynamics with different star nations rather than nations here on Earth. And you can go from there. You have kind of that rooting in a historical idea, but in a several million light year radius.
So which is your one favorite book he's wrote?
My favorite book that he wrote is called The Honor of the Queen.
Do you have a copy of it here to show?
I do not have a copy of it here, unfortunately. Basically, the premise, it's the second book in the series, but where the main character is named Honor Harrington. She is a female starship captain. What happens is in the second book, they find another star nation that needs help. They're being overrun, but they're a society which is very masculine-focused polygamy. That women are a second-class citizen. They are not seen as equal, and so she's not only having to fight their enemies, but fight their own internal. And at the very end, where they have to grudgingly accept that she might know what she's doing.
So, where would you say is a good book for people to start at?
That's actually where I think the best to start with is Honor of the Queen, and it's free on ebook. You can either go on Amazon or go to the Bain Books free library and get it as an ebook for absolutely free.
That ain't too bad. Thank you.